Congressman Mark Meadows. Remember when the leadership there was shoving him to the side and they made his office the janitor's closet? Well, he got out of that, and now he's a big cheese. In fact, he's one of the power brokers in the Republican Party, and dare I say, in the entire Hill. Mark Meadows from the fine state of North Carolina. Very good to have you, sir.
Great to be with you, Neil. Thanks so much. Exciting days.
It is an exciting day. I don't know if you heard a lot of what Joe Lieberman had to say.
I did.
What's expected at a meeting like this? I know that it's going on long enough now, in excess of an hour, that it's fair to say Mr. Trump is going to be late for his Paul Ryan meeting. What do you think's going on in there?
Well, having met with Donald Trump a number of times, or may I say President-elect Donald Trump, I can tell you not only is he being gracious, the Donald Trump behind the scenes when the camera's not rolling and when there's not reporters is unbelievably gracious and humble, and I can just imagine that this particular meeting is one that's talking about logistics. How do we transition power? How do we make sure that we do that in a proper way? And so I'm expecting the best out of both of these leaders. We do have a process here in the United States that has a transition of power that is to be marveled by the rest of the world, and I don't expect anything different today.
But you don't think there could be any nastiness? Like, how did you handle, and I wasn't blowing you smoke, as I wasn't with Joe Lieberman, when things would get unfriendly or nasty, or even the Republican leadership was getting unfriendly and nasty with you, would go our way, or it could be a long day. I'm trivializing. You did not return the tacky fire, even when they moved you to the janitor's closet.
Well, I think you can't return in kind. I think the other thing is,
but you didn't.
To realize.
But you didn't. Now, so I guess I want to know why you didn't, or did you just feel that things would work out your way? There might be great temptation for Donald Trump to say in that meeting, "I remember how you treated me at that White House Correspondents' Dinner, which was my provocation to run." Many have said that. Or do you just think that, it's old news?
Well, I think if you start to focus on the way that we've been treated, you miss the main purpose. And the main purpose of being in government is the way that the American people have been treated. And I think Donald Trump's focus is there. I know mine is there. And so as you start to look at that, it's about those construction workers and second shift workers that have talked to him and pleaded with him to make America great again. It's about the teachers that say, well, we need to be able to teach again instead of test again. And so I think his focus is really there, and it's not as much on himself. I know for me, I'm just a normal guy, and if you start focusing on the way that you've been treated, you miss keeping the main thing, and I'm hopeful that we'll see a lot of this, not only here at the White House, but again on Capitol Hill as he meets with Speaker Ryan in just a few minutes.
But, I like to think that while, we're above the politics and all, I do know legendary stories about Dwight Eisenhower when he met with then President-elect John Kennedy, who was clearly, still just trying to get the magnitude of what he'd been elected to. And he was reminding him about military hotspots, all this other stuff, maybe evidence of what the Soviet Union was up to at the time. And many said after the fact, like, Kennedy was overwhelmed leaving that meeting, as was, we were told, to President-elect Jimmy Carter after a powwow with Gerald Ford. Is that what incumbents do? Is that they remind you, look, I know what you said on the stump, I know how you campaigned, let me give you a little dose of reality here? Or does it go both ways?
Well, I think there will be a little bit of that dose of reality, but I think the main thing is that they'll be talking about, what are the critical issues as it relates to our national security. I think that's something that Donald Trump has not only campaigned on, but something that President Barack Obama would be important to instill on him, the potential hot spots. But, as we see around Donald Trump, there's a lot of very gifted, experienced people that will be able to give him a lot of advice. In fact, I think that's going to be the biggest challenge, is how do you take all the advice that he's getting, all the requests that he's getting, and really take that down and say, this is actionable, this is not. And you know, he's a successful business guy. He took so many different companies and raised them up. Just taking in Washington, D.C., being able to open up this new Trump hotel in record time under budget. I'm looking forward to see what he does with government. Hopefully we can make it efficient and accountable once again.
Congressman, thank you very much. Great seeing you.